he confessed. I told her I would end things with you. I just stayed silent. Months later, he was on my doorstep begging. I made a horrible mistake. I choose you. My new fiancé put his arm around me, smiled, and said, sorry, you're a little late for that. Hey Reddit. I'm in a really dark place and I just need to put this out there. Because I feel like I'm going crazy. My boyfriend and I have been together for a while now. And from the outside, things seem fine. But something happened early on that I've recently learned was a much bigger lie than I could have ever imagined. And it's poisoning everything. It started about 3 months into our relationship. We were still in that honeymoon phase where everything feels easy and exciting. We were on a late-night phone call, just talking about nothing important. You know, the way you do when you're first falling for someone? In the middle of me telling some stupid story, I heard that faint beep of another call coming through on his end. He went quiet. It wasn't just a normal pause. It was a dead, heavy silence. Hey, you there? I asked. I heard him take a sharp breath. Yeah, hang on. His voice was suddenly thin and strained. After another few seconds of silence, he finally said, it's my ex. My own breath caught in my throat. The way he said ex wasn't casual or annoyed. It was heavy. Like the word itself had a physical weight. My mind started racing. Why is she calling him so late? Are they still in contact? Before I could even form a question, he completely cut me off. Listen, I gotta take this. I'll call you back. His voice was shaky, almost frantic. Then, before I could even say okay, I heard the click. He hung up. I just sat there, staring at my phone in disbelief. The screen went black, and the silence in my room felt deafening. My first instinct was to call him right back, to demand an explanation. But something stopped me. A cold knot of anxiety formed in my stomach. What if I was just making things worse? What if he declined my call? That would feel 100 times worse. So, I waited. I told myself he'd call back in 5 minutes. Maybe 10. But the minutes turned into an hour. And then 2. My phone stayed dark. I barely slept that night. My mind just replaying the tremor in his voice over and over. The next morning, he had a flight back to the city where we both go to college. Still nothing from him. Not a text. Not a missed call. He was literally putting hundreds of miles between us. Wrapped in a blanket of complete silence. It wasn't until his plane landed that my phone finally buzzed. It was him. His voice was calm. Collected. A complete 180 from the night before. He apologized for being so abrupt. He said all the right things. I'm so sure about you. I don't want to get back with her. I just had to handle it. I'm committed to us. And I, so desperate for reassurance, chose to believe him. I wanted to believe him more than anything. So I pushed down that ugly, anxious feeling in my gut and accepted his apology. I let it go. Looking back now, I can see that this was the moment the lie started. It was the first crack in a foundation I didn't even know was hollow. Was I a total idiot for just accepting his explanation back then? Should I have pushed harder? Or was the writing already on the wall? For the next 5 months, I really tried to let it go. And for the most part, our relationship was good. He was affectionate. We had fun. And things felt normal. But his ex never fully disappeared. She became this ghost that haunted the edges of our relationship. It wouldn't be anything malicious. Just constant. Would be driving and a song would come on the radio. And he'd casually say, oh, ex's name, and I used to blast this in her car. Or would be trying to pick a restaurant. And he'd mention, there's this great Thai place she introduced me to. Every single time. It was like a tiny pinprick to my heart. My brain would immediately flash back to that phone call. To the panic in his voice. My goal was always to stay calm. To not seem like the jealous, insecure girlfriend. It just nod and say, oh, cool. While inside, I was thinking, why are you telling me this? Why is she still a point of reference for everything? But I told myself I had to trust him. He chose me. He said he was committed to me. And this was just leftover baggage. Then, about a month ago, the whole flimsy structure I'd built came crashing down. We were just hanging out at his apartment, watching some dumb reality show. We were laughing. Everything felt completely fine. He made a comment about his hometown, and I asked a random question about a coffee shop there. He laughed and said, "Oh yeah. I hate that place. It's where I met up with X's name after that call. The coffee sucks." He kept talking for another second before he must have seen the look on my face. All the blood drained from his brain, from his brain. He stopped mid-sentence. The room went completely silent. The only sound was the fake drama from the TV. I stared at him, my mind trying to process his words. "Met up with her?" I asked. My voice was dangerously quiet. "You told me you just talked to her on the phone." He wouldn't look at me. He just stared at his hands. And that's when I knew. "That's not all, is it?" I pressed, the cold knot in my stomach from all those months ago returning, bigger and icier than ever. And then it all came out. The confession wasn't a single explosion. It was a slow, agonizing leak of poison. First, he admitted he drove to meet her after that call, even though his own family had warned him not to. Then, he told me what they talked about. It wasn't about closure. It was about opening their old chapter again. She told him how much she'd changed, how she wanted to give it another shot. My whole body went cold. I felt like I was watching this happen from outside myself. Then he delivered the final blow. The one that shattered everything. "She asked me what I was going to do about you," he said, his voice barely a whisper. "And I told her I would end things with you." He told her he would end things with me. The man I had spent the last 8 months loving, trusting, and building a life with had sat across from his ex-girlfriend and promised to break my heart. He had made a plan to dispose of me. She even apparently had the nerve to ask him why he hadn't done it already. And all I could think about was him getting off that plane the next day, smiling at me, telling me he was so sure about us. It was all a lie. The entire foundation of our relationship, from that moment on, was a complete and utter lie. How do you even begin to process that? What do you do when you find out the person sleeping next to you had you on a chopping block? And you never even knew. I haven't been the same since he told me. It's like a switch flipped in my brain. And I can't turn it off. Every memory we've made in the last 8 months is now tainted. Every "I love you," every laugh, every shared moment is filtered through this new, ugly truth. I was the backup plan. I wasn't the person he chose. I was the person he settled for when his first choice didn't work out. The most torturous part is the detail he still won't give me. He says that at the very end of their meeting, something happened that made him ultimately say no to her. He refuses to elaborate. He just shakes his head and says it doesn't matter. But it matters more than anything. My mind won't stop trying to fill in that blank. Did she reject him? Did he see a flash of the person who hurt him before and get scared? The not knowing is eating me alive. Because without that information, his decision to stay with me doesn't feel like a choice. It feels like a default. It feels like he walked up to the edge of leaving me, looked down, and only backed away because he was afraid of the fall, not because he wanted to stand with me. I keep replaying the day after his secret meeting. The memory is so vivid it makes me sick to my stomach. He got off that plane, came to my apartment, and hugged me. He smiled and told me he missed me. My brain is struggling to connect these two realities. How can a person sit across from their ex, promise to break up with their current girlfriend, and then, less than 24 hours later, act like the most loving partner in the world? That person who hugged me, who told me he was committed to us. He was a fabrication. He was playing a part, and I was the unsuspecting audience. Now I feel like a ghost in my own relationship. When he touches me, I flinch, thinking about how easily he was prepared to throw it all away. When he says he loves me, the words sound hollow, like an echo of a promise he already broke. I feel small. I feel disposable. I feel like I'm constantly standing in the shadow of a woman who not only broke his heart, but was still given the chance to have him back. A chance I never even knew was on the table. He gave her more respect and honesty in that one conversation than he gave me in the 5 months that followed. So, Reddit, I'm begging you. What do I do with this? How am I supposed to build a future on a foundation that I now know is a lie? He says he's sorry, that he was confused and made a horrible mistake. He says he wants to fix this. But I don't know if this is something that can be fixed. Can you ever stop feeling like the second choice? The safe bet. Has anyone else been through this? And if you have, how did you ever learn to trust again? Or did you? I feel like a placeholder in my own life. And I feel completely and utterly broken right now.